Coach, no, obviously we've seen this from Terry before, but just the way that he's been able to run the team and spark the team with energy for the last 2 games without Kyrie.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's you know exactly what you're getting, and you know, I thought that he had played well off the bench in a few games prior to that, and then you know, even though he didn't get as many opportunities as far as shooting the ball, you know, I think his spark over the last 3 or 4 weeks has been you know, really impactful.
Brett, obviously, really impressive run there at the end of the third quarter into the fourth. Where do you put that just stretch in terms of how well you guys have played this year? As a
Yeah,
whole?
it was up there. I mean, it went from a 4-point game with however much left in the third, and then you know, you score, you get a stop, you score, and then all of a sudden that just kind of snowballs. And feels good to be on a run like that. Different guys involved in that run throughout. Everybody that went in off the bench added to it without missing a beat. So that's a good thing. Yeah, I thought we played well in that stretch for sure.
Brad, the Gordon Hayward dunk seemed like a different kind of dunk than he's had throughout the season. Most of them have been in transition. He did have one alley-oop, but that one was like a cutting one in the lane, maybe a little bit more traffic. Do you see that as a sign of maybe another step forward?
No, I mean, I don't think that looked much different than what we've seen on a day-to-day basis. You know, obviously we haven't practiced a ton, but I see them do that all the time when he's working out individually, especially at the facility. We need to do a better job of setting him up, spacing, and finding him on cuts. That's one of the great things that he does. And then it is good to see him dunk it in traffic. But at the same time, I think that, you know, we've seen that, and you know, we all know it's there. And so, you know, I thought his play was encouraging, and you know, but I thought we got encouraging play from a lot of people.
Ask about Jalen in the same context. Yeah. Continues to.
His dunks are sweet. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I've seen him dunk it a bunch, but no, you know, it's one of those nights where Jalen, I thought, not only got going on the offensive end with good, solid action and play off of actions, but then also played with great effort to get to a couple of loose balls that ended up landing in his hands, and he laid it in the first half. So I thought that, you know, that's usually a good sign you're like really engaged in the game, is if you've got a nose for the ball. And I don't think that's a coincidence that the 10 rebounds coincided with a great shooting night. You know, you see that a lot.
Brad, offensive consistency was kind of an issue for a while from everyone talking in the locker room, and he had 30 assists again tonight. It's the most times the organization's had that since Larry Bird in the single season. So do you feel like you've reached that threshold where you really feel the offense is consistent?
Yeah, I think our offense has been pretty good since the first 10 games of the season. So, you know, I think there's always room to improve, and we need to improve. That's pretty obvious. But as far as offensively, I think we've had more dips defensively in the past 2 months, though not in the last few games. I feel a little bit better about how we've played recently, you know, in the last 5 or 6 or whatever it is. But offensively, we haven't had as many dips in the last couple of months. Now we'll see if that travels and we play well Friday, and, you know, then you play again and again and again. So we'll find out.
You had 11 home games this month and won 10 of them, which is pretty unusual. But just how important was it to take advantage of this stretch that you had here?
Yeah, I mean, when you looked at the schedule, you know, in the summer, what stood out was that October, November, and December were going to be really, really tough from a travel perspective. And then, you know, the opportunity to play a little bit more at home and be home, sleep in your own bed, which is obviously always a good thing. And so it's good. And now we need to use whatever we gain from it to, again, go into February and play as well as we can over the next 14 days prior to the All-Star break, and then hopefully finish the season strong.
Right, there was a stretch maybe in December, early January up until the road trip. I mean, after the road trip, it was kind of, you guys were so inconsistent. You just didn't know what to expect from game to game. But since the Toronto game, it seems like you've kind of gained a level of consistency. Do you see that, and what's been the key?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're always shooting for that. I just think we just need to get better, and so what I'm most encouraged by is we have been on a steady path of progress. We've had some bumps in the road, like that 3-game road trip, but I do think that we've made progress in a lot of areas, and probably shows on the offensive numbers. The defensive dips aren't as many, and that's all we're trying to do. We need to be as consistent as possible, but we need to show great progress. And so I'm encouraged, but again, I'm hesitant to, be overjoyed until we, keep doing it and doing it and doing it all the way through the season.